We're going to tell you all about these dash panels and exactly how we installed them.
On our channel, you'll find dozens of videos of things we've done to our FJ Cruiser. We hope you'll consider subscribing.
They're made by Orangboxx Fabrication, and we've been using their panels for years on both our FJ and our 4Runner. And as you can see, they've been getting a lot of use.
Let's jump right to the install.
We're going to start with the big panel, but first we have to take out the glove box. To do that, first take this strut that's right here, and it's hooked on a little rod at the bottom. Just pop that right off like that, and it usually comes out too. Then take the sides of the glove box here on both sides and squeeze them together, and that's going to release these latches right here. And then you can just simply pull it right off. Then we have to get this plastic panel off so we can reach behind here with our hands, get the nuts on. To do that, take out this screw right here, and then grab onto the panel, and it comes right out. Now we could disconnect all these wires back here to get it completely out of the way, but I don't think we need to. I think we can just leave it hanging like this. Now before we move on, there's a little fastener down here that holds this side panel on that we're going to end up taking off anyways. So as long as we're here, we're going to take that fastener out. To get it out, it's one of those little fasteners with the push button. That little button in the center, push that in, and that will release that clip. You can get to it from the back, and you can just pull that right out. Now we can mark the holes to mount the panel. And you'll notice on here that there's 4 holes that are a little bit smaller than the rest. That's the ones where the bolts are going to go through, right there. To mark the holes, we've got a grease pencil, and we've got 2 of the little bushings they give you in the hardware kit. These are going to act as spacers along the bottom edge here to make it perfectly centered on the dash panel here. Now to do this, we're going to flip the panel over so the face of it is touching the dash. Place a spacer on top of that lip of the dash and hold up the panel with it. Put one on this side and then space it evenly on either side here, and that looks good. And it's perfectly spaced up here and down there too. Take the pencil and mark your holes through these 4 small holes in the Orangboxx panel. Now we can start drilling, but before I do, I'm going to stick my hand up behind here and make sure that we're not going to be drilling into something that we'll regret later. And that side looks good. Yep, this side too. All right, 1/4-inch drill bit. In the hardware pack, you'll find a bunch of bolts and little washers like this. Put that little washer on the bolt. That goes through the panel. On the back side, where it goes up against the dash, you'll need one of these little spacers. Then push it through the dash. On the back side of the dash, one of these big fender washers goes on, and then the nylon lock nut.
Now you may notice that the yellow color doesn't match exactly, and that's totally our fault. We ordered them the same color yellow as was on file with Orangboxx for our rear panel, which was never meant to be a perfect match. The folks at Orangboxx offered to recoat them for us, but since it was our fault, we didn't think it was fair to take advantage of their generosity.
We'll take care of the color ourselves later. All right, we got this panel on, and let me tell you, I'm not going to lie to you. This bolt right here, the nut on the back side, is really hard to get to, but just take your time. If you have somebody in the household that has little tiny fingers, grab them, and it can be done. We got ours in. So now I'm going to take this panel, and to make sure that we have it aligned up at the top here with our big panel, I'm just going to eyeball it on there and take a pencil, make a little line at the top. Now, in order to bolt this panel onto here, we have to remove all this piece of silver trim here. And it's really easy to do. There is, down below here, there is a little fastener that you'll need to take out. Our FJ is a 2007. If you have one of the newer models, you may have a bolt or a screw right here behind a little plug. If it looks like there's a plug right here, pop that out and you'll see that there's a screw behind there. That has to be taken out. But ours doesn't have it, so now that we have this fastener out down here, we can just grab onto it and pull it. And it kind of comes up like this, you see, at an angle. And these are the clips that hold it on. Okay, we took out our driver's side vent also, and it doesn't have a fastener at the bottom or one in the side. This was really easy to get out. Now, we can mark for some holes for these side panels. And this is the passenger side. And we put it up against that mark that we just put on it to align it with our big panel. And center it from this side and this side. Take our pencil and mark it. And you'll notice that I have this panel upside down on it too, to mark those holes. On the driver's side, we don't have to line it up with any other panels, but we do have to make it look somewhat similar to the other side. So we'll put it in roughly the same position and mark those holes. Same 1/4 inch drill bit. Oh, for the passenger side, you'll notice here that ours is a little melted from a trouble light leaning up against it. If anybody has a spare one of these that they want to get rid of cheap, please let us know. Now the hardware is the same as before. You got a bolt, the small washer goes through the little hole there, then a spacer on the bolt, and through the holes in the panels. Then on the back side, big fender washer and a lock nut. This button head of the bolt takes an Allen wrench. I don't know what size, but if you have Allen wrenches, I'm sure you have a bunch of sizes to choose from. And the nut on the back is a 10 millimeter, so you probably won't have a wrench to fit it. Okay, we got both of those on. Now we can go and snap them back into place. To put these panels back on, you just make sure that these little clips behind here go into the holes they need to. And you see I'm going kind of down at an angle. They go in, just, that's it. Now I can put the screw in back here, or that little fastener I mean, and if you have that bolt up there, put that back in, the plug back over. Then we'll get the glove box area all buttoned up and put back the way it's supposed to be, and then we're done with this. Now this is that little fastener that we took out at the bottom of our vent panel, and you know it's pushed in like when we took it out. To put it back in, if you've never used one of these fasteners before, take on the back side and push it, and push that plunger out again. Now you can put it back in like this. And then when you get it into place, just push this plunger down until it's flush with the rest of the fitting there. Now this is the top above our glove box, the panel that we had to take out to get to those bolts. You'll notice that up inside here, there's a little metal tang that will slide into a little slot on this panel. So get that up in there. And then it just goes right back into place. Now we have to put that screw back in right here. All right, glove box goes on in reverse how we took it off. Put the hinges on back here. They just snap on there. Come up, push in the side, squeeze, put those in there. And then this is that little strut right here. You're not going to be able to see it because my hand's in the way, but that gets attached back onto that pin down here on the glove box, and that is it.
That looks fantastic. We picked up a few of these pouches at our local Army surplus store. These will work out great for holding sunglasses, tire deflators, phones, anything we need quick access to. What I think is truly outstanding is this optional table for the larger panel. This is going to come in handy.
It's recommended that you never put anything sharp on these panels. If, heaven forbid, the airbag should ever deploy, you don't want anything on here that'll puncture or rip them. And never have anything mounted above the tops of these panels or anything that could ever come loose.
Before you leave, we hope you'll subscribe to our channel.
And look us up on Instagram and Facebook.
Thanks for watching.